Soon after Professor Muhammad Yunus, the Nobel laureate, took charge of Bangladesh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi put out a statement. We are the neighbour nation after all and an ally and friend of Bangladesh. Prime Minister Modi said, India hopes for an early return to normalcy, ensuring the safety and protection of Hindus and all other minority communities in the neighbouring country, and of course added that New Delhi remains committed to working with Bangladesh as the neighbour nation to fulfill shared aspirations of both our peoples for peace, security and development. Remember, this is an interim government for now. Meanwhile, on the ground, situation is not the best. When Sheikh Hasina had to flee, it led to mob violence targeting Hindu temples, households, businesses owned by the minority communities that have been vandalized. 2 Hindu leaders affiliated with Hasina's Awami League party were brutally killed in the mob violence on this week itself. Now, Professor Yunus has urged the people of Bangladesh, this is very significant, he ensured that this message goes out to the public to maintain law and order. He has protested the targeted attacks at Hindus, Christians and other minority communities, and thereby, as a leader, he has asked for this violence to come to an end.
মানুষকে আক্রমণ করছে, ঘরবাড়ি জ্বালিয়ে দিচ্ছে, সম্পদ জ্বালিয়ে নষ্ট করছে, চুরি গিয়ে যাচ্ছে, অফিস আদালতে আক্রমণ করছে, সংখ্যালঘুদের উপর আক্রমণ করছে, হিন্দু, বৌদ্ধ, খ্রিস্টান, আহমদিয়া সবার উপর আক্রমণ করছে। এগুলো হলো ষড়যন্ত্রের অংশ। এগুলো আমাদের বিষয় না। আমাদের কাজ হলো এটাকে রক্ষা করে, সবাইকে রক্ষা করে।
Piyush Mishra joins me for the latest on that. Piyush, I do think that Prime Minister Modi's statement was very interesting. It was, of course, very sound diplomatically, politically, but it was also very clear about the targeted violence at Hindus and minorities that are being reported from Bangladesh. Tell us more about the statement, what it means, and how India will look ahead as India-Bangladesh relationship here on.
Much clear, Pooja, that Prime Narendra Modi has made it very clear that he is very much concerned about the safety of minorities and the safety of Hindus there in Bangladesh. Remember that since the time the violence erupted there in Bangladesh, many Hindus, minorities have been persecuted, their businesses have been attacked, many of them have also left the country. And looking at that, Prime Minister raised his concern while yesterday he also spoke about fulfilling the aspirations of people of both the nations. But at the same time, he also said that it's important for the government to look after the rights of minorities and their protection. Remember, Pooja, that the government when had made the very first statement in Lok Sabha, which was basically made by Union External Affairs Minister Shankar, at the time also he had said that he would expect the host government to ensure the protection of Hindus, and that has been the foremost priority of the government. And that is the message which has once again been highlighted by PM Narendra Modi.
Yes.
We'll have to wait and watch how further the government is going to take and what kind of steps as far as the protection of minorities are concerned, because this is the point which the government has been raising since the violence erupted in Bangladesh.
All right, Piyush, keep tracking the latest on this. Remember, it's not just about Bangladesh and India. It's primarily about our borders right now. Could there be an influx of refugees, especially Hindu refugees, like we've seen in 1971? And could there be infiltrators misusing this uncertainty to destabilize India? Thereby, the central forces who are deployed at the border have heightened the surveillance along the border. Amid this unrest, India today is on ground zero at India-Bangladesh border. Mishra sends us this ground report. Let's take a look.
We are at Indo-Bangladesh border in Jalpaiguri, and this is the same area where yesterday around 1,200 Bangladeshi people have gathered and they wanted to enter India. And after that, the BSF has increased the patrolling and the number of Jawans. And this is the temporary fencing which I'm going to show you. This is the temporary fencing. This has been erected since yesterday because this is the unfenced area. And this stretch of unfenced area is around 1.5 kilometer. And for these reasons, this unfenced, these are the wires which have been erected here temporarily to stop the illegal infiltration of Bangladeshis. The gathering knew that this is the area from where they can enter inside India, and that is why they have gathered here. But BGB came here, BSF had spoken spoken with BJP, and let me show you the BGB guards there. They are sitting under a tree in Bangladesh area. Those are the two BGB border guard Bangladesh Jawans who have been posted here since the incident of yesterday, and they are also guarding their fence, and they are also trying to convince the people that don't come here because BSF will not allow anyone to enter India. With camera person Taposh Bairi, this is Mishra for India Today in Jalpaiguri.
So what is the present status in Bangladesh? Muhammad Yunus, a Nobel laureate for Grameen Bank and has been a renowned activist there in the country, takes oath as the head of Bangladesh's interim government. He took oath 3 days after Sheikh Hasina was forced to resign and flee in that dramatic attempt, remember, facing assassination attempts at her, and landed in India on the 5th of August. Now, Muhammad Yunus, in his first speech, has called it a second independence for the country, highlighting, however, an urgent need to prioritize the protection of the minority communities, acknowledging that there have been anarchic activities as part of a larger conspiracy against the minorities, and that must not continue. Meanwhile, India and Sheikh Hasina have discussed the present and future plans as well about what needs to be done, because remember, Hasina right now has a temporary shelter as a political and humanitarian protocol is being followed by India, but she has sought political asylum in Europe. So India has made, meanwhile, arrangements for her stay here. Sources are telling India today that Sheikh Hasina's associates who had come along with her in a military aircraft have now started to move out from India to different destinations. But what happens to Sheikh Hasina and her legacy, her family, that remains to be seen.